Test 1 2. Checking into the cockpit. AC Sports Live. Pulling in my graphics. Kind of watching the Dodgers game, so I'm a little bit distracted because we were up 10-2. Now it's 10-5. Old raggedy bullpen letting these dudes back in the game. 3-game series, Wildcard. So come on, Dodgers. Let's get some act right on this 30th day of September 2025. AC Sports Live, episode 218, season 6. Been going strong since the pandemic. This show, the 1585 show, the Rubio Method, Sucker Punch podcast, all of us was podcasting our tails off, boy. The Collective podcast, Eagles Nation, the Big Dogs podcast. We're doing it big, man. My Eagles are winning ugly. Does that equate to problems later on? Delaware State was robbed. I sat here and watched the robbery. I'll talk about it. The MLB playoffs. Like I said, Dodgers are playing right now. They said tripping a little bit, but I just saw Mookie get a hit. The score right now is 10-5. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. So the Reds have one more shot. UCLA loses to Northwestern. It looks like we're going 0-12. Just fired the OC. And we faced Penn State this week. Does not look good for the Bruins this season. Again, the search continues for a new head coach. My 2 cents, got a few. Bud Crawford gets arrested on his birthday and the day of his parade. CIF suspensions. Are they going too far? And is this it for Russell Wilson? As he loses his starting job to Jackson Dart? And the quit culture. How did we get here? AC Sports Live on this Tuesday night. It's time to get going. So let's do it.
Never slumber, never put him to the test. He be reigning king forever, resurrected after death. All praise to God, brother, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, all praise to the one.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Show brought to us by All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. Located in Long Beach, California. Check them out at www.allincdltraining.com. The Eagles, 4-0. All is well in Philly on the wins and losses topic. What's not popping and what's not so great as we pull out a win versus the Bucks, who have had our number the last 3 or 4 years. We win in Tampa Bay, 31-25, with the help of a special teams touchdown to start the game off, which always helps. But the issue, once again, is our passing game. A.J. Brown's not happy. Devontae Smith's not happy. Dallas Goedert is not upset because he's getting a bunch of shovel passes. So the question looms, winning is everything, but at the same time, there are more ways to win a football game than to dink and dunk and 3 yards and a cloud of dust. When you have one of the top one-on-one receivers in the league, one of the smoothest deep ball threats, former Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smitty Smith, a very capable number 3, and Jahan Dotson. But our passing game is not opening up the run game for Saquon Barkley either. And this tremendous offensive line that we have looks mediocre, and that Jalen Hurts is getting hit quite frequently, and Saquon can't get loose. So my thing is this, as we hear the rumbling about who's not happy and AJ Brown's going to want to request a trade, believe me, and I heard Chad Ochocinco say receivers need the ball, because if you don't get the ball, then they're going to ask for their money back, because right now everybody's paid. Everybody got paid, but they're not using those who they paid. They're just churning out wins by any means necessary. When last year we saw such a prolific offense towards the last 10 games of the year, we had the same problem last year in the beginning, is that we got diva receivers upset they're not getting the ball. I play receiver. I know what it's like not to get the ball and be frustrated. I've had a little DB on me from Huntington Beach who couldn't cover his twin bed with a sheet if he tried. And I'm looking at the DB, I'm looking at my quarterback, and he hands the ball off because he's been told to hand the ball off to our 10 running backs. So I know how it feels to be frustrated. I think I only caught 36 balls my senior year. I had the droppies my junior year. I probably would have had a lot more fanfare had I been more sure-handed. But my senior year, I was putting it down a little bit. But the game plan didn't dictate me getting the ball. Why the Eagles are not game planning to get the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to open up the run game for Saquon? It's play design. It's identity. And it's also NFL teams are good. They're scheming to take away Saquon Barkley. They're scheming to take away A.J. Brown. And they're scheming to take away the deep ball for Devontae Smith. Does that mean that you can't find ways to get them the ball? I think you can do both. It is possible for everybody to be happy. I had this talk with Coach Lara, who is now the coach at Mater Dei. And we were having difficulty moving the football. And I'm not one to play daddy ball and say, give my son the ball. But when we got to a standstill and our offense couldn't run the ball, where our top 2 running backs got injured and we're now stuck. And I said, we got to have a meeting, man, because we're not seeing the game the same. If I was the OC and I had a tight end, which happened to be my son, who's running 15 to 20 drag routes per game, and he's not getting targeted ever. Not one drag route the entire season went to my son. And it's not like he's not open. The offense just dictated to where the quarterback throws the ball. It's a system, and I understand systems. And I applaud systems because systems win championships. However, when the system is not working because the people are hurt, your personnel is not there, you have to adjust the personnel. And he agreed. So Coach Law and I were good to make that adjustment for this game. I said, you have to design plays that lets the quarterback know that we're throwing the ball to the wide open tight end, not the slot receiver doing another out route, which was our bread and butter. I think the kid caught 30 out routes, the slot receiver, and he didn't even, do anything with it. So I'm like, we got to be a little bit more strategic in how we get the ball to our playmakers. And I think that's what most OCs are in charge of doing. Right now, the Eagles OC, Kevin Patullo, he's not designing plays to showcase or feature Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. The Eagles scored on 2 shovel passes to tight ends. Those are design plays to certain people. You have to design 5 plays for your key guys. They have to touch the ball to make your team special. And that's all I was asking from my personal experience. Design 5 plays. We saw the same thing when I was at Long Beach Poly and we had Mercedes Lewis at tight end. And we went the whole game versus De La Salle, and we only got Mercedes the ball once. And that just kind of like, man, if I ever become a head coach and I have an offensive coordinator, going into the game, I want to make sure my guys get the ball at least 5 times. I can't leave it up to the defense and how they adjust to my personnel. I have to design plays for my playmakers to touch the football. Kevin Patullo for the Philadelphia Eagles, the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. He has the job of inheriting this well-oiled machine with a brotherly love shove in the back pocket for whenever it's 3rd and short. He can do anything he wants. He has a quarterback who makes great decisions, who has not turned the ball over this year. He says on the criticism he's receiving, I think at times through the first 4 games, AJ's been doing different stuff. Sometimes the ball finds him and sometimes it doesn't. Going into every game, you plan on making sure he's the primary receiver. If it doesn't go his way, it means usually you're on rhythm and Jalen is reading it out and is going to other guys. That can happen. If it happens, it happens. But you don't want to force it. I understand what he's saying. You do not want to force it because that makes turnovers. However, just as you design plays for special individuals like Tyreek Hill, who suffered a very devastating injury, prayers out for him for a speedy recovery, but I don't know how well he'll recover from this. That might have been one of the most grotesque knee injuries I've ever seen. I think everything is destroyed, from ligaments to bone structure. Everything looked like it was wrong. So I don't know if we'll ever see Tyreek Hill as the cheetah again. He might come back as the lynx or tiger, something that's not as quick. Sad to say, but that was a rough injury. But a special individual needs the ball in space. And that's all I'm saying. Design some plays for A.J. Brown to get the ball in space. And it can't be always a one-on-one because he's going to have help over the top. So DBs are sitting on his routes. You look at the routes he runs, he's usually locked up because they got help. But if you got him running something across the middle, something away from the DB, where the defense has to run a little bit, he's open. He's 7-11, he's always open. So I think it's long-term an issue. But at the moment, we're 4-0. I can't complain too much. I think Jalen Carter said, I would rather have a bad game and a win than 6 sacks and a loss. Winning is everything. Unless you're a wide receiver and you need the ball for your livelihood. A wide receiver that's getting paid $30 million a year has to get the ball. Otherwise, he's expendable. So that's what the frustration part is. Like, if you pay me this much money, why aren't you using me as such? So you can come back to the table and say you want your money back? Your production wasn't there? Does Jalen Hurts hold the keys to A.J. Brown's paycheck? At this point, they've all been paid. The only thing they can gripe about is I want to be a part of these wins. I don't want to be a decoy, and I understand that. I didn't like being a decoy either. But in order to win a game, you do what you got to do to win that game. All right. I got Rob in here. What's up, brother? We need to connect. All right, let's do that. Let's do it, Bruin. Are we picking the coach? Are we picking the new coach? All right, man. So the Eagles are winning ugly. Delaware State, man, my son's team. All right, so I saw possibly some of the most egregious referee interference. So let me see. Do I have footage? Okay, so Delaware State was playing against Sacred Heart.
FCS.
And they have a star quarterback named Caden Bennett transfer from Sacramento State. The kid is electric. He can run, he can throw it. And he was making the defense look really silly out the gate. So he scores here.
It's more than a conversion. It's a touchdown for Bennett, who turns the corner.
All right. Looks pretty vanilla to me, right? Looks like he just scored a touchdown. Nothing major. Let me rewind a little bit. Before the game, there was a little situation. At midfield, Sacred Heart comes out as a team to, jaw jack a little bit with some of the DSU players. And whenever you see your teammate in a scuffle or a scrum, you got to come make it even so there's nobody getting jumped. No punches were thrown. Just a bunch of kids getting it going before the game. I think this happens more than you think. I was telling my father-in-law, his grandson used to do this every game. He'd go to the 50-yard line. He would mean mug the opposition. And sometimes the ops would come to the 50 and meet his energy. And you had to pull them apart as if they really were going to fight or something before the game. And so there's a bunch of testosterone built up, guys getting it going. So Delaware State comes out to the 50 and meets Sacred Heart with the same energy. And the referees break it up. Both teams are now ready to play. However, the referees felt it was necessary to give everybody an unsportsmanlike penalty call. And everybody knows in college football, 2 unsportsmanlike penalties is an equal to automatic ejection. All right, so keep that in mind. Look at this picture right here. Look at how it looks. Delaware State is minding their own business. But one player gets into it, so everybody gets into it. So then you fast forward. First play of the game, Delaware State to the house, 70-yard touchdown. Marquise Gillis. Next drive. And Sacred Heart goes down the score, so there's 7-7. It's going to be a track meet. However, we have the better athletes. Especially our quarterback, Caden Bennett. He plays like Jaden Daniels, but he's Caden Bennett from Folsom High School. So he scores.
FCS trying to convert on another third down. It's
with
more
ease.
Than a conversion. It's a touchdown for Bennett, who turns the...
And this is where the controversy begins. He scores. He goes and gives some Delaware State fans some love. On his way to giving the ref the football, he also daps up some Sacred Heart fans. Still nothing that bad to warrant an unsportsmanlike conduct. You watch this 10 times. It wasn't excessive. He wasn't taunting. He was simply celebrating with some fans and a couple of fans who didn't appreciate the love. But it was still no harm, no foul. Kids had their footballs out to be signed. The referee that ran behind him threw a flag. He says because he did not give me the football. Not because he celebrated with fans, but because he did not give him the football. So this being the first 5 minutes of the game, you throw out our quarterback. And I've always said when I watch games and I see the referees favoring the home team, I say home cooking. Pre-game unsportsmanlike conduct on everybody. And as soon as anybody from Delaware State celebrates, it's a subjective call by a referee to call unsportsmanlike conduct. Because all game long, both teams celebrated a little bit for every big play. When Sacred Heart scored, they were throwing the running back in the air like a Mickey Mouse intro from the 70s. MICKEYMOUSC. They had a little bitty running back. He was like 5'8", 175 pounds, and he scored. And they ran, the O-line ran to the end zone, and he ran to the O-line, and then he jumped in the air, and they threw him in the air and caught him. And I'm like, that's not excessive? They just threw my man in the air. But they threw our quarterback out for dapping up some fans and not giving the ball back in an opportune time, because he gave the football to the referee that he saw. He did not see the referee behind him asking for the ball. It should have been a picked up flag. It should have been a warning. Because if an NFL quarterback is thrown out the game in the first quarter, you got a ratings problem. In this case, you are forcing us to believe that you're in cahoots with the home team. And if it's not cahoots, we can go further and pull out the race card. Southern Connecticut, Sacred Heart, white, PWI, Catholic school versus the HBCU, black college, Delaware State. 60 white guys versus 60 black guys. And 7 white referees. Well, 6, 1 black. You can call it what you want to call it. However, it was a bad call, no matter what. Home cooking or one racist referee who wanted to take it out on the brothers and even the playing field. They threw out 4 of our players that game. They didn't throw out one player. Happy Boy said, are gambling. Another angle. I hope you weren't gambling on that Cowboys-Packers game, because 40-40 sounds real fishy. And that 1 second left on the clock at the end, I know the Cowboys fans are like, yo, I have never seen a clock stop that fast. So it's home cooking racism or dudes had bets on the game. Whatever makes you feel good at night so you can sleep good at night, whatever happens. But these boys were robbed, man. I saw a targeting penalty and the kid didn't even touch the quarterback. Now, we did have one kid who did target. He got thrown out justifiably. But another kid, Ryan Pelham from Long Beach, scored a 75-yard touchdown, handed the ref the football, jogged to the sideline. No incident. So we got the message. Dudes were on their best behavior. But he still gets thrown out the game later on in the game for saying something. He said something. And then the next thing you know, he was ejected. And we were like, what did he say? So head coach Deshaun Jackson had to rip into the team because we eventually lost after 31 first half points. 31-35. Couldn't get anything going after the first half. Shutout in the second half. My son tells me that it's rough 5-hour bus ride home with that bad taste in your mouth. So it was unfortunate. The team still looks worlds better than the last 5 years. Happy Boy said I still won. Plus 6-5. So in Vegas, if you bet on a winner or loser and the game is a tie, do you still get paid? Do you still get, I think the house wins, right? Unless you bet that it would be a tie. Or you bet on the underdog to cover. And that's what Happy Boy did. That they were supposed to lose by 7 points. And they tied the game so you won. That's a good bet. That's a daggone good bet. He said, well, I still get paid. Kissing cousins, 40-40. Michael Parsons made his sack, which was probably a tackle for loss. It wasn't really a sack because Dak Prescott was running. He was going to score. On my prize pick, I had Michael Parsons with a 0.5 sacks. He got 1 sack. But raggedy Josh Allen didn't get 220 yards. So messed up my prize picks. Oh, well. So, yeah, it was home cooking, man. And my wife and I were sitting here frustrated. My daughter was watching it. We were like, that's not fair. And it's not. That's why you got to beat people down and leave no doubt. So when you do have a referee, a crew, like we saw in the NBA, and we hear NBA players say all the time, millions of memories. Because if you don't win by 20, anything can happen. And I got some referee friends that hop on the show. Rodney Sauce is a ref, and AC from LA is a ref. All these guys will tell you they don't want certain people dribbling the ball a certain way. Allen Iverson carries the ball every time he dribbles the ball, so tonight we're going to call it. If the defensive backs are striking above the shoulders today, we're going to call it. All that stuff is discussed. Is it implemented? Does it stop the activity? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But you watch the movie Remember the Titans, how those referees were in on it. Yes, this is a fictional situation in the movie, but the movie baseline was based on true events. And it is not out of the ordinary to believe that throughout the history of sports, the referees have been in cahoots with a certain team. And if you call them out on it, there's no way to prove it until you find evidence. And in the moment, you can't do nothing about it. So Coach Deshaun Jackson had to teach his team a valuable lesson. Put people away. Do not let the referees dictate the outcome of your games. You got to dominate dudes. They had a little bitty receiver score 2 touchdowns. And now they walk around beating Norfolk State and Delaware State. And both teams deserved to win, but just couldn't pull it out. Tough, man. Can't let them stick around, man. So the Dodgers eventually pull out the win. I just saw a notification. So I got my Dodger hat on for my good Dodger mojo. 10-5 final. And box score. Blake Snell gets the win. He went too deep. He went to the 8th inning, and then it caught him slacking a little bit. And they scored a couple runs, but he was dealing up to 7. It was 10-2. Doing great. So it's the best of 3 series in the wild card. How the Dodgers end up a wild card? The bullpen. So we'll see if the bullpen costs us moving forward. We shall see. The Bruins lose again to Northwestern. Valiant effort trying to make a comeback, but that might be UCLA's last opportunity to win the game. So looking at week 5, Big Ten. It's still funny to me to say we're in the Big Ten. UCLA loses 17-14 under interim coach Tim Skipper. They fire their OC. So now we're going into the Penn State game this week at the Rose Bowl. There will be more Penn State fans than UCLA fans. My brother P. Ward said, who's going to the game? He runs the fire department in Pasadena, so he's going to be there policing the event. And like we said in our UCLA alumni group, give me an incentive to come to the game. If I go to the game, I'm probably going to wear my Penn State gear. So I'm not laughed at. I'm just kidding. But Penn State was one of my dream schools growing up. I wanted to play for Joe Paterno. With my Philadelphia family background, Penn State was the standard. But moving to California, living in Long Beach, UCLA and USC were right there. UCLA recruited me to the end. USC stopped recruiting me, and the rest is history. So UCLA looks like they're going to be chopped liver. Penn State is favored to win by 26.5 points. Is that a good bet? Everyone said money line. It's a push, so you don't lose if it's a tie. Educate me on that. Now, if I bet UCLA covers this 26 points versus Penn State, I put $5 on UCLA, and UCLA scores within 24 points of Penn State. What would I win? I should win out of my $5. I should win at least $25. Something like that. UCLA's schedule does not look favorable, man. We got Penn State, Michigan State. They're 3-1. Penn State's 3-1. Maryland's 4-0. Indiana's 5-0. Nebraska's 3-1. Ohio State's 4-0. Washington's 3-1. And USC's 4-1. And we're 0-4. We're going to be everybody's homecoming game. They're going to reschedule. Everybody's going to have homecoming versus UCLA. They could just put the money lines down, the stat line down. Michigan State by 14.5. Maryland by 21. Indiana by 25. Nebraska by 10. Ohio State by 31. Washington by 14. USC 7.5. Games that we have a chance to win. Rubio's in here. UCLA versus Mount Sac. Who wins? I think we can beat Mount Sac. I don't think UCLA can beat Delaware State. Delaware State got three rushers. All of them got 400 yards. They rush for 350 yards a game. We got an identity. Money line has no point spread. All right. I'm learning. Appreciate that, happy boy. We could possibly beat Michigan State because I think head coach might have a soft spot for us because he might want to take the UCLA job. So he might let UCLA play a little tougher against his Michigan State Spartans. Maryland at UCLA, maybe. Indiana in Indiana, no chance. They're not number 8 team in the country, no chance. Nebraska, slim chance, but there is a chance. Ohio State, not a snowball's chance in a dark place. UW at UCLA, the Rose Bowl, about 10% chance. UCLA, USC, we have the best chance because of the rivalry, and by that time we would have known what we can and can't do. So let's take a look at these games. 2, 4, 6, 8 games left for UCLA. We have a chance to win 1, 2, 3 of them. Maybe 4. So 2 and 2 possible, like a spade hand. Now, am I betting my $2, happy boy? I don't know. I might keep my $2 on my wall. My $2 there, my $2 there, and my $2 right there. I think that was one that Happy Boy lost to me with the Eagles Cowboys 2 years ago. So I got 3 bets on the wall. Come on, Bruins. We got to win 2 games. Not betting on you, though. My 2 cents, man. Bud Crawford just celebrated a birthday. Just celebrated getting keys to the city. On the same day, he was pulled over by the police and treated like a civilian in a open carry, no permit needed, Omaha, Nebraska. Not where you really want to be at night, getting pulled over by the police. This is how it went. Bud's parade, he got his Ring magazine belt. He's being driven through the town. Very recognizable. Terrence Bud Crawford given the key to the city. Just hours later, this happens.
Step out.
I'm
Opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine.
Seatbelt.
Step out.
Opening the door.
You can take
I'm
mine
opening
off
the door.
of me right here on my right. I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro.
Step out.
Can I move my phone?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He thought it was a prank. He says, "Is this serious? Are you serious?" Held at gunpoint? I didn't see that part, but that's what the story is saying. It's very, very likely I was held at gunpoint my very first ticket on Easy Avenue, 2 blocks from my mom's house. I got pulled over for speeding in my mom's neighborhood, going 45 in a residential area. They asked for my license and registration. I reached to the glove compartment. He said, "Freeze." First time ever. Didn't know what to do. I froze. He said, "Slow." I didn't know. I was 16. Bud Crawford had a gun on the floor of his car. And I know he's quick. I know he can punch really fast. I know he's got good reflexes. But it sounded like he was very cooperative, very afraid, and did not want them to get the wrong idea. But he was still wondering, what did I do necessarily wrong? The story is this. The incident occurred late Saturday night, which actually makes Sunday, when officers observed a vehicle driving recklessly and initiated a traffic stop. During the stop, the officer reportedly observed a firearm on the driver's side floor, leading officers to order all 4 occupants out of the vehicle at gunpoint. So Nebraska is an open carry state with no permit needed. As a constitutional carry state, Nebraska residents who can legally possess a firearm can carry handguns both openly and concealed without a permit. Though restrictions apply to certain locations like schools, and local governments may also impose their own rules. Regardless, you knew that was Bud Crawford. You knew who that was. Once you saw who it was, you tell him, hey man, have you been drinking? Why are you driving recklessly? Oh, my bad, officer. It's my birthday and I just got a key to the city. Well, way to go, champ. Drive a little slower and take care of yourself. It's possible to be human, to see somebody who's having a good day and for all we know, recklessly could have meant anything. Swerve a little bit off the line. Bud Crawford doesn't do drugs or drink alcohol, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, pretty sad when there can't be a conversation, a warning, similar to the Caden Bennett unsportsmanlike conduct. Hey man, give me the football before I throw an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on you. Oh, my bad, ref, here's the ball. That's not what he wanted. He wanted to throw him out the game. Same thing here. He didn't want to give Bud a warning. He wanted to throw Bud against the car and show him who was boss. You don't run nothing around here. This is Omaha, Nebraska. It is a privilege for you to even be here. Tragic, man. I'm not going to Omaha ever. I'm not even going to call an audible like Peyton Manning. Omaha, not going to Omaha. I'm avoiding Omaha like Utah. I'm cool. I'm not going there. CIF has suspended over 10 kids in the Long Beach, Compton area for 2 years for questionable transfer documentation. Investigated by AI. And the initial investigation begins when someone complains for whatever reason that there are illegal players on the team. And it can't be from an opposition. It has to be within. And it can be a parent within. So what is done, but what is I don't know. I do know the purpose of a 2-year ban is to show how severe it is. The question around town is, though, these kids were cleared to do the 5-game sit-out and begin to play this week. However, somebody didn't like how Compton, they didn't like how Milliken, and they didn't like how Long Beach Poly got these transfers. Not that these transfers are going to make them that much better, but it's giving a kid a chance to go to the school he wants to go to. Instead, an AI bot discovered that these addresses, not to play immediately, in the case of Long Beach Poly's kids, those addresses were just to enroll. Big bucks, no whammies. I tried to get my son into Long Beach Poly. I used my mom's address, which is my permanent address in Long Beach, to get my son into Long Beach Poly. It didn't work. We were on a wait list and it didn't work. So we ended up going to a private school private schools don't have the same problems as public schools as far as comes to enrolling. We still did the 5-game sit-out when we transferred from Lakewood to St. Anthony's in basketball. Football, very first time playing, there's no sit-out period if you've never played the sport. However, some coach who claimed to be a friend reports us to CIF that my son played before the 5-game sit-out period and that we should forfeit all of our games. Thank God we have Coach Laura, who knows the rules, and said that person is just being jealous. This is Coach Mario Morales, somebody I used to do videos for. Now he's the coach at Lakewood, I believe. But when you call the authorities on my son, you have lost a friend. Trying to get us banned for 2 years. Not so. But the kids that got suspended last week, 2 years, meaning if they're juniors, that's it. They have to move out of state to play high school sports, not just football, any sport. And it's like, man, that's harsh. 2 years? Oh, yeah. Josh Johnson in here. JJ, what's up, bro? He said 2 years seems too harsh, especially when it's not even the kid. It's the parents and the coaches that's making this happen. The parents and the coaches are trying to get their kids into a situation where they can play ball and be happy. Again, if it's going to be the Wild Wild West, open it up. Let kids go to school where they want to go to school. Let's not be hypocritical and selectively righteous. CIF. 2 years for a kid who hasn't even played yet. Those kids didn't play. Those kids were sitting out 5 games and then they were going to play. But since they used a falsified address to enroll in the school, they still get a 2-year ban. I think if you're going to go 2-year ban, it should be on the kids who played. A kid who was ineligible academically and cheated, like something bad. Like the word says sin is sin. However, in this case, a kid who just wants to play, like I said, my kid, who as clean as they come, wanted to go to Long Beach Poly out of middle school, was denied because he did not live in the area. So we reapplied with my mom's address, which is my permanent address. So technically, he went to her daycare, and that's my permanent address. So that's my address. Had he got into school, he would be subjected to the 2-year ban because they send someone out to the house, look in the closets, look at the pictures, and they follow you home and see if you go home there or whatever they want to do for the investigation. I can't tell you how many times this has been done at other schools and nobody has said a word. Because it's the victimless crime. Now, when you got 25 transfers and you're destroying teams by 50 and kids are getting injured, okay. Now you have some type of an argument saying this is not safe for the opposition. We're talking about 1 or 2 kids here and there. And you're treating them like they're playing up in a 12U and they're 15 years old. It's not something like that. These kids just want to play high school ball. Now they can't. So I would hope that they would look at each case individually and lessen that suspension to 1 year so they can at least play. If they're sophomores, they can play their senior year. If the parents had money to move, they would have. Because that's all you need to do to transfer is move. You can move from one apartment to the next in the same building, as long as your address changed. If you can't do that, and you don't have the means to move. But a lot of these kids are moving with other family members to play football. So I don't think it's right. But I get it. 2 years, it seems a lot for a kid who did not harm anybody, is academically eligible, on a path to going to college academically, but you're going to take the sport from him. And the coaches aren't even getting suspended. The coaches are still coaching. They can turn a blind eye all they want, but they knew. Unnecessary, man. Poncho in here. Long time. Hey, bro, where you been, man? You good? OG Coach Ponch, man. Russell Wilson lost a starting job. Is that it? Does anybody want Russell Wilson? Jackson Dart didn't play necessarily great, but they won. Goes back to the argument how important it is to win as a quarterback. Russ threw for 450 yards 2 weeks prior. They lost. Fast forward 2 weeks. Giants win a football game. Head coach pretty much kisses the boy in the mouth, saying, "You're my quarterback now," because we won the game. So Sierra's husband is going to support Jackson Dart because he's a good guy. But deep down inside, I know he ain't too happy. Ponce said, "Go blue, fire the whole bullpen." Embarrassing. You see that, man? We almost smoked off the 10-2. We almost smoked off the 10-0. Was it 8-0? And they scored 2. We got 2 more. Thank God for Teoscar Hernandez and Shohei Ohtani for hitting 2 apiece. Or we would have lost that game. In a 3-game series. Can't lose the first game. Glad the bats were popping. And this is something that I was talking to my brother Courtney Simpson about. His son's at North Carolina. And y'all know my son's at Delaware State. And we're talking about college football. And we're just talking about football in general. And it gravitated towards youth sports, basketball included, baseball included. Kids walking off the team. Quitting mid-season. And I was like, where'd that come from? Like when who's saying that's the option? I know I didn't teach my son that. I taught my son to finish basketball, finish the stage play. Whatever you start, you sign up, you finish. Today, athletes are walking off the team during the season when things aren't going well. One of the things you're supposed to learn in sports is perseverance and toughness and understanding that everything is not going to go your way all the time. There are going to be rough patches. I'm thankful to have grown up when I did. We had coaches who did not let us quit, who made us mentally strong, who made us earn playing time. Like when you got a chance to play and you didn't know what to do, that was all the more reason why you weren't ready to play and why you didn't get playing time. And I don't like to just bash today because my childhood was so great. We had our negative sides too of our childhood, but our childhood, at least there was necessary bullying in that you didn't want to be called a quitter. You didn't want to be the kid that quit the team and have to go to school the next day and see your teammates and they want to know what's going on with you. So you toughed it out. No matter what's going on at home, no matter what's going on with your playing time, or you're not getting the ball, or you're not featured, you still thugged it out. You still grinded it out. You still were there because you knew quitting was not an option. I remember my tough stint at UCLA when I wasn't being used, when I was being ignored, when I was told that if I don't play defense, I'm not going to play. And I'm like, why is that? I'm out here playing my tail off, catching the ball across the middle, getting blown up, and I'm still not going to get a chance? And they said it stems back to when you were a redshirt sophomore and you told Coach Donahue you weren't playing defense, so you're never going to play. At that point, I could have quit. But it wasn't an option. I said, I guess I got to go get a defensive back number. I went straight to the equipment room, and they said it's too late. The game uniforms have already been distributed and packed. So I have to wear number 83 at defensive back. Humbling, but made me better. Never thought about quitting. Never thought about walking off the team. Never thought about making y'all feel sorry for doing what you did to me. Nah, it was put up or shut up. Quitting wasn't an option. Transferring wasn't even an option. I loved school. My girl, who was my wife now, was there. My boys, who are still my boys to this day. I was roommates with my best man in my wedding. Life was good except for on the football field, but quitting was never an option. I'm seeing too many kids today walk away from NIL deals because things aren't going as sweet as they once were. Kids leaving AAU basketball teams because you're not getting enough shots or you're not starting, so you change teams. So it's a problem. The entitlement, the expectations of parents, because they spend a lot of money on travel ball and all that stuff. I understand that. I was part of that, but I still didn't let my son quit. You finish the season and maybe you don't return to the team, but you don't quit mid-season. That's something you don't do. But you do finish the season. I did my junior year at Long Beach Poly basketball. Played for Coach Ron Palmer, Coach Errol Parker, Coach Cardell Tatamy. Great men. But basketball wasn't my thing. I no longer enjoyed it. So after my junior year, I'd never returned to the basketball team. And the question was, why aren't you playing basketball? I said, because track and field might be better for me because football is my sport. And track and field will help me with my sport. But I did not quit during the season. That's out of the question. So the question of quitting, the idea of quitting, the topic, conversation of quitting is not there. My nephew, I was coaching my nephew and he says, you make me want to quit when you took me out the game. And you made me want to punch you square in the head when you said that I made you want to quit because I took you out the game to coach you. What you're not going to do is quit because I'm coaching you. And you got that lesson that day. So I know we need that. We need to re-establish authority. You coaches out there, stop letting these kids run the team. Punish the divas the same way you punish the kids who aren't star players. Reestablish these life lessons so the kids don't just play a sport thinking they're going to be pro and they can act like divas the rest of their lives. That's not life. And you can't quit because things ain't sweet. Because if you do that in sports, you're going to do it in your job. You're going to do it in your marriage. You're going to do it in life. Too many suicides today. Too many guys canceling out their chance. And a lot of people don't want to hear it, but you kill yourself. There's no heaven for you. You did not give God an opportunity. There's no rest in peace for suicide. So let's get back to encouraging these young people to be strong when times are hard. Work for some playing time. Earn that playing time. Earn those catches. Like, I hope the young receivers don't see A.J. Brown and think that's how you're supposed to act. A.J. Brown has made it. He is a top tier elite receiver. So he has the right to demand the football and be upset about not getting the ball. You, on the other hand, are a high school player, 7-on-7 player who has not made it yet. So humble yourself and play ball. Amen. Amen. D-Mac Fine here. You know, a little unk season before I go. Unk season. I saw a youngster asking unks, why didn't you go D1? And I thought it was the most disrespectful question you could ask.
Let's stand. Stand. How you want it, Coach? How you want it? Okay then. Oh, you out of there with that, boy.
So he goes to the park where a lot of old heads are coaching their sons or watching their sons. He's asking the unks, why didn't you go D1? Could have been D1. Episode 40? Oh, boy.
Hey, I was saying, why you ain't go D1?
Why ain't go D1? Yeah. I ain't work hard enough.
I ain't work hard enough was his response.
College baseball. I ain't play football. Yeah, playing college D2 school. I went to Wofford. You know what I'm saying, yo?
I can see a little stands real quick. Let me see what y'all was working with. Let's stand. Stand. How you want it, Coach? How you want it? Okay then. Oh, you out of there with that, boy. Hey, what position you played? Huh? What position you played?
I played everything, man.
All right, I can see little one. Let me see what your stands like. What that? Hey, oh. I'm saying, hey.
I thought it was disrespectful at first, but the unks were game. The unks actually had a good time talking about it. So I was cool with it. But then a youngster starts to clown, saying that he wouldn't have been good or would have bested on your stance. So it goes on.
What college you supposed to go to? Huh? What college?
I'm going to go to UM, man, about Tom ACL, man.
Oh, wait.
Let me see.
Let me see. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. It's not working. Ooh, let me see the running back and a little corner with it. Ooh, wait. Let me see. Okay, let me see.
See, Dion was my favorite corner.
Ooh, Dion type shit.
I'm playing you here.
Ooh. Oh, nah, that ain't working. Huh? Yeah, I getting ball. You hear me?
So, you know me. I challenge the youngsters. And I'll put my cleats on and go out there and do something to a youngster today. And this dude with the microphone, I'm looking at him and he acting like he is that dude. And I'm like, well, you, as young as you are, and you don't really have no muscle definition in your legs, I would beg to differ if you're going to say my stance is not top tier and that I can't route you up right now on offense and defense, destroying style. I'll route you up and I'll lock you up right now. You're not going to come up to me and clown me. Matter of fact, what school do you go to, youngster? Why aren't you going D1? Reverse it on them. Don't have no youngsters walking up to you telling you that you ain't that dude. You was that dude. You wish you looked this good when you're 50. You're 18 and you ain't. If you're 17 years old and I'm 50, you better not let me ball you up, man. You better not let me ball you up. I'm Pops. And I'll route you up right now. CP3's in here. He said, got him. Hey, gotta get him, man. These youngsters out of pocket with that, man. Hey, I got a personal tender love report. If I see, did y'all see this? I might get shut down for this one. Alabama put
different Alabama offense. Another little wrinkle here. Moving Cam Miller. They go empty. Miller's out to the left.
They got Caden Proctor, the big.
Caden Proctor. And if I'm correct, Caden Proctor is 6'7", 350. They threw this guy the ball. He looks like a cartoon character. Like, what do you do with that? He catches the ball, and the defensive back has to tackle him in the open field.
Tackle on the left side. They're going to throw it to him. Big fella. Barreling downhill, Proctor marshaling down near the pylon. Are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. You have to call me tender love that day. I'm going for the ankles. I'm trying to bite his ankles. I'm trying to grab a shoestring. I'm not trying to hit them shins. I'm trying to hit the bottom of his feet. I'm just trying to trip him up a little bit. That is a big person, man. With the ball, who smells the end zone. Whoever's in his way is in trouble. A shoulder tackle, hip tackle, you could target him all you want. Spear him all you want. You better spear his ankles. Ankle biter. Glenn Tompkins style. Taking your ankles out from underneath you. I am not hitting that dude. All right, man. That's my show, man. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Went a little bit over. Had a slow start, though. Had to watch the Dodgers pull it out. We were struggling just a little bit, but we pulled it out. Thankfully, again, the 4 home runs, basically saved us. And it's a 3-game series, so that's kind of scary. If you lose one, it's almost a wrap. But we got through it. All right, y'all. Until next time, same time next week, same bad channel. I gotta download them tracks, CP3, get them songs on the air. Check out my boy Chris the Graybeard. Appreciate y'all, Happy Boy. Appreciate you, D-Mac Fight. Appreciate you, Rubio. Appreciate Full Image, J Mo in the building, JJ's in the building, Coach Punch in here, Dr. Rob in here. All right, y'all. Happy Boy. Be safe on the roads, man. Until next time. Shalom, shalom.